All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Proposition A, which was to raise the minimum wage and requires paid sick leave for employers. You want to kick that off and talk about what that means and what we might want to be thinking about? And I think you probably have seen Christina's question, which is when calculating the new sick leave law, would we consider sick, vacation, holiday, and overtime pay?
Yeah, so on really specific questions, I'm going to have to deal with those on a one by one basis because they're we will
It's
be
so
getting
new
some
too, as well.
yeah, we will be getting some material out on that. So let's talk about the minimum wage piece first. So right now the minimum wage in Missouri is $12.30 per hour. And basically what the new law is going to do is it's going to increase the minimum wage in two stages here. It's going to 13.75 next year on January 1, 2025. So get ready for that. And again, we also have the looming, as I mentioned before, increase in the salary basis threshold test under the uh, uh, under the
FLSA.
DOL.
Yep.
Yep, the Department of Labor federal at the federal level. And again, that one I'm not so sure is going to go into effect, but lots for HR to do between now and the end of the year. And it's also open season, as I like to call it, for benefits these days. So
Right.
HR is going to be busy the rest of the year. And then in 2026, January 1, 2026, the minimum wage is going to increase to $15 per hour. That's the
I like
easy
how that
part
was
of the law.
worded. Just a side note, in the ballot said go 1375 goes into effect January 2024, and then what
2025.
or 25, I'm sorry. And then they said $1.50 per hour or whatever the jump was every year thereafter until 2026.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I was like, that's really interesting wording, but
Yeah.
I'm digress. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, but then what a lot of people didn't realize was part of this legislation, and I know we informed people on our program about this, Phil, but a lot of people didn't realize that as part of this legislation, that Missouri was implementing paid sick leave. And basically, under this piece of the legislation, businesses with 15 or fewer employees are going to be required to pay to provide at least 5 paid sick days per year, and those with 15 employees, more than 15 employees, have to offer at least 7 paid sick days annually. Employees can use this leave for their own illnesses or to care for family members. Um, the earned sick time will begin to accrue at the commencement of employment or on May 1, 2024, whichever is later. So that means that we do have some time to get interpretations of this law. So we will have some ability to make sure we're prepared for the implementation or the effective date of this law, which again is not until May 1, 2024. I'm sorry,
2025.
2025. Well, wait, hold on. Earned sick time began. Oh, I'm sorry, the accrual of the sick time. Uh, See, I'm gonna have to look at this much more closely, Phil. I'm looking at some notes here, and I think that date might be off on the notes I'm looking at here. Up to 80 hours of earned paid sick time can be carried over to the following year if unused. It doesn't mean that they will have to be uh,
Right.
carried over. Not all of those. It says up to 80 can be carried over to the following year. And the leave can be used for physical illness, injury, health conditions, and need for medical diagnosis, treatment by a mental health or physical illness, injury or health condition, or for preventative medical care.
Yeah.
So now, importantly, it does not apply to individuals engaging in volunteer work for educational, charitable, religious, or nonprofit organizations. And there are a few other exclusions, but by and large, most employers in the state of Missouri are going to have to provide some form of paid sick leave to employees. And we're really going to have to take a look at this in detail to see how existing employer policies on vacation, PTO, sick time will apply to meet the law's new requirements.
Yeah. Now, if I remember, and I know you and the resources there at Ogletree and the AIM resources here are digging in as well to get some clarity on this so we can bring it to our member base and our listeners of this program. Um, but if I do remember, this does apply to part-time. That's one of the questions that is frequently asked. Is it does also apply to part-time workers?
Yeah, that is correct. There's
Right.
a pro rata calculation that is part of this.
Yeah, and I think that's the bigger impact because a lot of times our policies exclude part-time workers, and for, that group of employers that have restaurants and staff that is not traditionally full-time and so forth, that becomes much, much different for them to comply with.
That's right. And I did just check my better notes on this. So basically, under this new law, paid sick time accrues at the rate of 1 hour for every 30 hours
30.
worked. It
Yeah.
begins accruing for existing employees on May 1, 2025, just to make it clear, or the first day of employment for employers hired after that date. So again, we have some time to analyze this, and basically 6 months to get ready for the implementation or the effective date of this law.
Yeah. And I mean, the good news is on this, particularly for those in the local region here in the Midwest who have had employees in Illinois, our mind's already shifted in many ways how to accommodate and our policies, how to consolidate in them and so forth. So with that, we will bring you more information coming up in the next couple of weeks through this program or special programs to help you accommodate that.
Subscribe wherever you get your news and entertainment, like LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you are. And you can be part of the show. Send your questions and comments anytime to info@thisweek.work. We'll see you next week, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, when we discuss what's happening this week at work.